Edwin Moses, we're here coming up at your first meet here at Atlanta at Morehouse at your track. But I'm curious about what you think of the landscape of the 400-meter hurdles right now, right? We just Ryan Benjamin, Carson Warholm, Dos Santos, already been running extremely fast this year, and it seems like we're on pace to replicate what we saw in maybe 2021.
Well, men's and women's 400 hurdles are just as important to the movement as the 100 meters, men and women. So all of those events are right at the pinnacle in terms of popularity of the athletes, performance expectations. In fact, it's more likely to get a world record in the 400 hurdles than it is in the 100 meters. So I think it's really great. I always envisioned a day when I knew someone was always going to run faster than me. And the kind of times that they're running right now, I envision myself running like 46 flat, 46.1 back then, but I was already 20 yards ahead of anybody, so I didn't have to innovate to do the 12 steps, and didn't have the shoes that they have now, and the tracks are very, were comparatively soft. So yeah, I'm glad that I had a chance at moving the event forward, because it did take a long time. For a long time, it was stagnant. After I finished, it went stagnant for a very long time, myself and Kevin Young. But so it's changed a lot. It's the #1 event for men and women on the planet. It's going to be one of the highlights for the Olympic Games.
Yeah. And why do you think the event has progressed so quickly over the past couple of years? Because I think since, of course, Benjamin ran the 47.02 and Samba ran 46.9,
Yeah.
and then year after year, it's just consistently gotten faster very quickly.
I think the equipment has a lot to do with it, the different types of spikes that they're using. They have devices in there that I wish I had when I was running, and the way that they're structured, because I've seen how they're built with the carbon fiber and so forth. So that makes a big difference in the track itself. That's probably the biggest factor. I think they would have a hard time running those kind of times with the kind of shoes and the kind of tracks that we had to run on. They were a lot spongy and not really reflective tracks, giving back energy.
And you spoke a little bit about John Akubua and how there was motivation, of course, inspiration. He came right before you did, and won the gold. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How he kind of inspired you and was instrumental in kind of your journey to become one of the best?
Well, of course, I was inspired by the '68 Olympics with Lee Evans, John Carlos, Tommy Smith, Vince Matthews, the quarter-mile team, and so forth. So I was 13 years old at that time. Then in '72, they had a catastrophe at the Olympics with Israeli teammates taken hostage. And also the 100 meters runners didn't make the team. So that was kind of a catastrophe, the 1972 Olympics. But Rod Milburn won the 110-meter hurdles from Southern University. Willie Davenport won them in 1968, another HBCU guy. So when I came through college, there were a bunch of HBCU guys that were gold medalists in the hurdles, 400 hurdles, 110 hurdles, 2 in a row in the 110 hurdles. So I had that legacy to inspire me when I was in college, that Southern University had the last 2 Olympic gold medalists in the 110 hurdles. So having a track in Morehouse kind of means a lot to me because of that.
Nice. And last question, as we look forward to the Olympic Games, like we said, we have all these 3 main guys, but a lot of guys who are in the mix for the 400 hurdles. Ryan Benjamin has kind of been on the back seat in terms of getting those silver medals, but he has that potential, he has that talent to potentially get a gold. Do you see anything that would take him over the edge to be able to not only get a world record, but potentially, be one of them?
I don't know. He has been the bridesmaid over the years. There's a lot of really good competition out there. Dos Santos is outstanding. Our Norwegian brother is going to do well, and those guys are primed and ready. So it's going to be a 3 or maybe a 4-man race. And once you get to those levels, everything becomes critical. Mistakes mean a lot. And it just depends on whether or not he's ready to compete on the big stage. I personally think that none of them run enough. I think Dos Santos runs enough races. He runs more races than anyone else. He's probably run three races this year. Everyone else has run 1 or 2. So I find it hard to believe that you can be in tip-top competitive shape, so such that when something goes wrong, you're able to react and not panic when it happens, because you've never done that before this year.
Thanks so much.
Okay.